Hi everyone, welcome back to Carlos Cooks. Today we're going to be making a delicious caramelized apple Dutch baby. It's going to start on the stove top and go into the oven, and it's going to go in this, which is the Scoville Pro 28-inch non-stick pan. So we'll see how well that fares. It's ideal because it can go on the stove top, and obviously with a metal handle can go in the oven too. So let's start caramelizing our apples. Okay, first thing to do is get the pan quite warm on a sort of low to medium heat, and then we're going to put into that .30 grams of butter, unsalted butter. You just melt that gently over the heat. And what we're going to do is add some 30 grams of sugar, granulate sugar to that, and this is going to help our apples caramelize. So just melt that off. Add in your 30 grams of sugar, and we're just going to heat that up and mix all that in together. So. As this is not going to take you long to do, I would suggest getting your oven on 180 degrees Celsius. Now what I've done is I've peeled, cored and sort of thickly sliced, as you can see, 3 apples. We're just going to place those in the pan. I've used Pink Lady apples. Primarily they're a little bit softer and sweeter, and they'll cook fairly quickly. So all we're going to do is now just let those cook through for about 10 minutes or so. Might take a little bit longer, just to soften them and get a bit of colour on them from that sugar and butter. And it's the sugar and butter that does help them to take on colour. So we're just going to leave those in the pan. And while we're waiting for those to cook through, we'll make the batter mix up that's going to go on top of this, that's going to go in the oven. Basically like a dessert Yorkshire pudding. I've seen it called several things. They call it a Dutch baby, and they also call it a German pancake, apple pancake as well. So we'll just let those soften through. Okay, our apples have been cooking for about 10 minutes, softened up lovely. I've turned the heat off for a moment. What we're going to do is make the batter now. So I've got 30 grams of granulated sugar in here. I'm just going to add an egg. 1 egg, room temperature. I'm going to whisk that up to incorporate everything. And once it's fully mixed, we've got 140 grams of plain yoghurt. Once again, just incorporate that, get it all nicely into there. Sort of looks like custard now. And then into that, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil or olive oil if you wish. Once again, just give that a little stir, and then we're going to put in 140 grams of flour. And some baking powder, just 1 teaspoon of that. this that bit slower now, just to make the batter up. Make sure you get all the flour off the sides of the dish, and then into that just 1 drop of vanilla extract. Can do, if you think this is going to be too thick, I mean this looks alright to me, but if you think it's going to be too thick, you can just add a little drop of milk just to break it down a little bit. And there goes my whisk breaking. It's a bit too hard for it. I'm just going to turn the pan on again now, just get a little bit of heat. That'll help this smooth out over the top of the apples. And that's what you should have. You can see it's quite thick. See it only slowly dropping. Okay, back over to the apple pan. We're just going to sprinkle half a teaspoon of cinnamon over the top of the apples. Oh, that smells lovely. Then our batter is going to be spread over this. So what I like to do is just sort of do it like so, and then we can spread it out as we go. It just needs to create a thin layer on top of the apples. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means. There's lots in the bowl, so make sure you scrape it all out. Pull it away to the sides, like so. Try not to disturb the apples, it is difficult, but if you just go gently and just move around the dish. You get it close to the edges as you can. Right, so now that is going to go straight into our oven. That is 180 degrees, middle shelf, for about 20 minutes initially. And we're going to check it, because what we're going to do, as soon as this has risen and it has browned on top, and we've tested it and made sure it can hold its own, we're going to turn it over in the pan. Okay, I've given this an extra 5 minutes in the oven, turned it up to about 190. It just wasn't browning enough on the top, so very carefully, making sure your hands are protected, get it out of the oven. See, it's brown and it feels firm on top, and we're just going to take a cocktail stick, just poke it in and pull it out to make sure that it comes out clean. That batter has cooked properly. So about 25 minutes all in all. Now comes the hard part. You're going to need a plate for this, and ideally a plate that is going to go inside that pan like that. And then using some oven gloves, because this bit is a little bit difficult, because you've got to hold that hot handle, and you've got to hold the plate, and we've got to flip over plate down and then gently remove your frying pan. Now what I like to do, just to keep it warm, is normally slip it back into the pan, but the right way up. So what you want to do is just let this cool just a little bit, and then we're going to dust it with icing sugar and then serve it with a bit more of that yoghurt that we put into the batter mix. Okay, I've decided I can't wait to try this. So I've dusted the top lightly with icing sugar. I'm just going to cut this slither off. It's best eaten while it's still warm. It's going to be a lot better with a nice cream on it. Definitely needs some cream, but that is lovely. I could easily finish that, and I probably will. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon if you did, and also give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you next time.